Meta has just released Muse Spark 1.2 in August 2026. In this video, I'll show you how to use the coding model in Xcode 27. According to Meta, this model is good at agentic coding as well as long-running tasks. Over here, they have a benchmark comparing it to state-of-the-art coding models like Opus 5, GPT 5.6, as well as Grok 4.5. There are several ways to get started with the coding model. You can use it in Muse Code, that is a terminal-based coding platform from Meta, similar to Cloud Code. You can use the model via the API or use it via OpenRouter. To be able to use the model in Xcode for Agentic SwiftUI coding, it must be used via OpenCode. So you first need to install OpenCode using any of these options. Xcode also allows the OpenCode connection via the Agent Client Protocol, ACP. It allows you to bring a custom coding agent to Xcode for Agentic SwiftUI coding. So to use the Muse Spark model in Xcode, there are a couple of steps to follow. We want to use Muse Spark 1.2 in Xcode 27 via OpenCode. I have already verified this with Xcode 27 Beta 3 and also OpenCode 1.18.3. To be able to use the Muse Spark model in Xcode 27, it requires your Meta API key, so you should visit dev.meta.ai and log in with any of these options. Once you log in, it will launch your Meta dashboard. So over here, this shows the usage information. I already registered today, that is August 6, 2026. If you go to the menu, you can select the API keys category and generate a new one. Once you generate an API key, you can go ahead and install OpenCode using the scale command. Using the Agent Client Protocol, you can easily connect OpenCode to work with Xcode. However, with Xcode 27 Beta 3, the connection is broken, so you need to create an Xcode adapter. After installing OpenCode, you should create a directory, add the following scripts to your project, and make them executable. The description of the video contains a link to all the 4 files. There are 2 Python files that correct the Xcode 27 beta and OpenCode connection error. That is an error about MCP2 schema. So once you add those 4 files to your project and make them executable, you can go ahead and verify the Meta access. You do that by running this command. If it runs successfully, you should be able to see the message Muse Spark OK. After this, you can jump to Xcode. Use the intelligence settings to add the Muse Spark model via OpenCode. So I have now opened an Xcode project to add a custom coding agent in Xcode 27 beta. You should go to the Xcode menu and select the option Settings. You have noticed here I have already selected the intelligence settings. Under Agents, you can click this button to add a new coding agent. By filling out all these options, I have already done the one for Muse Spark via OpenCode, so let's cancel the operation and select this one, Meta Muse Spark 1.2. So you should fill out the name and path to the Xcode and OpenCode adapter. The script is found in the description of the video. For the interpreter, you should enter bin/zsh and leave all the other fields empty and save the changes. You can now go ahead and use Meta Spark 1.2 in Xcode. To do that, you go to the toolbar and select Coding Assistant. Over here, you can create a new conversation. From the history, I created a previous conversation, so let's select that. I sent the message, what model version are you? So I got this reply from the Muse Spark model. Let's create a new conversation. Over here, you have noticed I have several options. So let's select Muse Spark 1.2. I will go ahead and add this prompt. I have added this file to the project, so we want to modify it to create a SwiftUI freeform drawing and sketching app using the Apple's PencilKit and PaperKit frameworks. So we can go ahead and send the prompt to start using the model. The model is now calling several tools in order to build the project. If I go to my Meta dashboard, you have noticed here we have the traces of the model. That was my previous prompt. So this will update shortly. Now everything seems to be ready. So over here, it has summarized all the features of the app. It uses PencilKit Canvas, Infinite Freeform Board, Mood Board, and cards. So the project is created under this path. So I'll go to the apps directory and select Muse Sketch. Then I'm going to resume the preview. So you have noticed here, we now have our freeform drawing board.